The rumor mill has gone out of control recently in regards to Star Trek. A lot of good stuff, some bad stuff, but what should we be believing? I don't know. Let's pour it up! Hey everybody, Ketwolski here, checking in with another one of our hashtag Star Trek Earl Grey Pour Up videos. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about some of the rumor news articles that have been spreading around like wildfire that have both drum up excitement for Star Trek and of course some negativity. So not all rumors are bad, you see. Some are good rumors, but they are still rumors. And I wanted to go ahead and address some of those to you guys and gals because a lot of you have been sending me these links saying, hey, is this true? Hey, are you tracking on this? What are your thoughts and feelings on this? And I wanted to go ahead and kind of just do a quick video where I do a very fast response to all of them. Hey, guess what? You should probably stop believing articles and videos that don't provide any sources attached to them. Now, I do report on different types of rumors on this channel, but I always provide a source document or some kind of verifiable third-party location that you can go and do your own research and attach identification to. Whereas these articles and videos, again, of course, typically go with, we have sources, people have told us close to the production, yada, yada, yada. You guys have seen this stuff before, and I think that there's a lot of you who are already starting to question some of these articles and videos, but there still seems to be quite a few more of you that are still just taking the content in and just accepting it for what it is. So as a reminder, before we get to these different things, just, hey, keep your wits about you. Always trust, your gut, and then go ahead and verify what it is these people are saying. If they have nothing linked into any kind of factual evidence, you probably shouldn't believe it, and you shouldn't take it just at face value. Okay, so the very first rumor, and we'll start with the good ones first before we get into the bad ones. So the very first rumor that I'm going to talk about is this Captain Pike and the Starship Enterprise rumor. This came out just a couple of weeks ago. This story was broke online, and since then several other news article sites have picked up the story. So I don't want to necessarily just attribute it to one particular person, but the story essentially broke that the new Pike series was going to be starting to film rather soon. It has been green-lit, and that it was going to be called Captain Pike and the Starship Enterprise. Now, I've talked heavily about this on my channel. I do personally believe that a Captain Pike show is inevitable at this point. Some of you disagree, and I get that, but I do feel like that is the truth. Now, there are a lot of reasons to support that actually occurring, but of course it's not a confirmed 100% thing until they actually officially announce it and they begin to do pre-production, and that has not happened yet. So anyone who is claiming that the show is called Captain Pike and the Starship Enterprise and that is already been confirmed and will start filming rather soon is completely false, and they either are inside of the contract meetings with all of the cast and the crew and the producers and they decided to go and blab to a tabloid, which is highly unlikely, or they went ahead and just ran an article and thought people would, enjoy it and click on it and just kind of, click on their ads or whatever it is, or just gain notoriety and attention or whatever it was. Clearly it worked because a lot of people shared this story all the way around. What's interesting about it is one of the more popular sites that ran this story actually ran a similar story just a couple of months ago with almost the same exact headline. But, it is what it is. I'll link all that stuff down below so you guys and gals can go and check it out for yourself. But yeah, so that one is definitely not moving forward right now in terms of confirmation. I still do believe that we're going to get a Pike show at some point, but we'd have no official word yet at all. Okay, so the other rumors, and these kind of happened almost back to back, so we're going to go ahead and talk about them at the same time, which is one, that Star Trek Discovery had been renewed for a 4th and 5th season, and that they would be filming those, those seasons back to back, and that Section 31 had been renewed for a 2nd season, and both the 1st and 2nd seasons would be, filmed back to back as well. And I have no reason to say that this is 100% false, but I have several factors that say that this is not true. Mainly the production articles and information that I use as source material, which are not completely infallible, and they do make mistakes, but those things are pointing to just a 4th season of Discovery and an actual delay of Star Trek Section 31 with, being pushed back into 2021, which I talked about in a previous video that I did. So this whole double renewals and then everything filming back to back seems a little bit, I guess, kind of good wishing, I think, in some ways. There are no confirmations on this. Again, the only information that the articles that actually ran this story provided were insider sources, again, which, again, in this case is a positive source, but I don't trust insider sources, whether it's good or bad news. So even though this is good news potentially, and this may actually be true, I can't 100% say that it's false because you can't prove a rumor to be false without actually being present in those meetings, which I am not, despite what many people think. I don't work for CBS, so I can't prove it 100%, but there's no indication that any of that has actually happened. Now, it'd be great if it does. I'm going to cheer it, and I'm going to give those guys and gals credit that reported the story. You know, great job there, but as of right now, there is no evidence to support any of those things happening at all. All right, so that is the positive stuff. Now we go into the negative rumors, and again, we're kind of just dealing with the same cycle over and over and over and over and over again. You guys know the channels that I'm talking about. You guys know the news article outlet sites that I'm talking about. But there was a recent video from a large YouTube channel known as Midnight's Edge. Some of you guys have probably already seen their video. It was actually just recently released. And they go through more rumor stuff. I watched their video. It's about 13 minutes long. It's not much information in there that they haven't already talked about in the past. But the big things that they wanted to talk about were a bunch of insider infighting between Secret Hideout CBS and Amazon because of supposedly poor numbers to the viewing, show of Star Trek Picard, which they provided no data on other than Google Trends. And I cannot express this enough. Google Trends is not indicative of anything at all. And that's why no major review website will utilize Google Trends to indicate any kind of popularity or interest in a show. You do not see it in any major publication at all because it is unreliable, and that is not what Google Trends is used for, but whatever. They want to use it, that's fine. That's the metric they've got, and they're going to stick to it. But with that metric, they've created this narrative that Amazon's going to be super upset because all the views are horribly bad for Star Trek Picard, which, again, they provide no source material on. It's insider sources. It's all supposed to be taken with a grain of salt. It's no big deal. It's just the show's on fire. That's what I've heard. It's no big deal. Just don't worry about it. Right. So we've heard all that stuff before. What was one other interesting was then they cut into the Star Trek Discovery stuff, where they went ahead and made this weird kind of accusation that Star Trek Discovery had been wrapped at December of 2019 and then went into immediate reshoots because Netflix was furious over the ending, and they had to reshoot the entire show in order for them to change the ending to be a season, series finale instead of a season finale with a stinger for season 4. Now, I've already reported on this channel that season 4 has already entered pre-production according to Production Weekly, and that is still on their Production Weekly site. So as far as I know, that is still kind of moving forward, at least in that regard. But what was interesting is the article that they referenced saying that, all these news outlets reported that Discovery had wrapped filming in December. That didn't happen. They referenced an article from Kingstown, which they didn't even bother to read, because if you actually read the article, they talk about the wrapping of filming in Kingstown. They even say at the bottom that they hosted the production for 2 weeks and that it wrapped there, not wrapped entirely. In fact, the official wrap kind of announcement didn't really happen until Michelle Paradis actually tweeted it out, I think in January, at the end of January 27th or something like that, where she said, this is the end, and she said that's a wrap or whatever it was. That was kind of the pseudo announcement of Discovery Season 3 wrapping. So this narrative that it wrapped, then Netflix was furious, so then they had to redo the entire third act of the season to have it be an end of the show as opposed to just an end of a season, was built on basically nothing. They didn't bother to read the article or even understand what the headline was, because all it was saying was that the Kingstown piece had wrapped. And I did some research. I tried to find other articles that talked about it wrapping in December, and I was only able to find one other article that referenced December 31st as one of the wrap dates, but even that included no source of information whatsoever, and it was more of a speculative article. So there you go. So there you have it, both the good and the bad rumors. I just wanted to go ahead and share my thoughts on this, because again, like, a lot of you are sending me these things and trying to say, hey, what's going on? What's going on? All of this stuff is rumors. I report to you guys as much as I can on the facts of the information that I have available to me. These are the things that we know. Picard has a second season. It has been alluded to the fact that Section 31 is being delayed based off of multiple production publication websites, and Production Weekly has alluded to the fact that Discovery Season 4 is entering in some kind of pre-production development phase at this point. Those are the things that you can actually prove and connect back to tangible, physical things. Everything else, whether it's the good stuff or the bad stuff attached to insider sources and insider rumors, should not be taken seriously, and you should not just believe it at face value. I say this, I've been saying this for years, and I feel like I'm going to keep saying it until hopefully everybody kind of figures it out. If they're not providing you with the sources, then you really can't trust it 100%. You got to trust it what you can see and what you can research and what you can figure out. So hopefully this video kind of found you guys well, and hopefully this cleared up some of these rumors for everybody here. Again, keep your wits about you, keep your mind sharp, and keep doing that research. Anyways, guys and gals, that wraps up for today's video. I am curious to hear what all of you guys think about these rumors. Do you think that they're, kind of building up a little bit because the end of Picard's coming and we're expecting some new announcements? Are you interested in the fact that now we're getting more positive rumors from insider sources? That's kind of a twist that we haven't really had too much of for this, current iteration of Star Trek. I'm curious to hear what you guys think about that. And what do you think about this supposed issue with Discovery being, pissing off Netflix and them having to redo the entire season into being a series finale? Do you think there's some credence into that? I'm curious to hear what you guys think about that. Get your comments up down below, and we'll go ahead and get the conversation started. Live long and prosper, my Trekkies!